हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम है एक नए वीडियो के साथ, एक नई क्लास के साथ। जो आज मैं आपको बताने वाला हूँ, आपको क्लास पढ़ाने वाला हूँ, वो थोड़ी अलग क्लास है जो दिल्ली जुडिशरी की होने वाली है। दिल्ली जुडिशरी का जो 10 दिसंबर को जो एग्ज़ाम होने वाला है, तो उसमें ये क्वेश्चंस आने वाले हैं कि किस तरीके से हम लॉ उसको पढ़ सकते हैं। लॉ में उसमें लिमिटेशन एक्ट भी है, तो लिमिटेशन एक्ट में हम लिमिटेशन एक्ट को पढ़ेंगे आज। तो दिल्ली जुडिशरी का सिविल जज के जो एग्ज़ाम होने वाले हैं 10 दिसंबर को, तो उसके लिए हम शुरू कर रहे हैं। तो शुरू करते हैं। अगर आप चैनल पर नए हैं तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लें, जिससे आने वाली सारी वीडियो आपको मिलती रहे। साथ ही साथ नोटिफिकेशंस बेल को भी आप प्रेस कर लें, जिससे नोटिफिकेशन बेल को प्रेस करने के बाद सारे वीडियो आपको मिलते रहें। शुरू करते हैं। तो लिमिटेशन एक्ट क्या कहता है? तो लिमिटेशन एक्ट एक तरफ जो है हिंदी में, एक तरफ इंग्लिश में, तो ये बाइलिंगुअल जो है मैंने खोला है अलग अलग तरीके से। तो लिमिटेशन एक्ट है वो 1963 में जो है अरेंज हुआ था। अरेंजमेंट ऑफ द सेक्शंस, तो सेक्शंस व्हाट विल बी देयर, तो स्टार्ट करते हैं। तो पार्ट वन प्रिलिमिनरी है। सेक्शंस वन कहता है शॉर्ट टाइटल, एक्सटेंड एंड कमिटमेंट। सेकंड सेक्शन कहता है डेफिनेशन। और पार्ट टू पे आते हैं। तो पार्ट टू लिमिटेशंस, सूट्स, अपील्स एंड एप्लीकेशंस टेल अबाउट दैट। तो सेक्शन थ्री कहता है बार ऑफ लिमिटेशंस, एक्सपायरी ऑफ प्रेस्क्राइब्ड पीरियड व्हेन कोर्ट इज क्लोज्ड। सेक्शन 5 is said that extension of prescribed period in certain cases. Section 6 कहता है legal disability. Section 7 said disability of Section 7 says disability of one several persons. Section 8 told about special exceptions. Section 9 is continuous running of time. Section 10 suit up against and trustees and their representative. Section 11 suit and contract entered into आउटसाइड ऑफ द टेरिटरी ऑफ विच एक्ट एक्सटेंड। तो इस तरीके से ये सेक्शंस के बारे में डेफिनेशन है। तो इसमें हम देखेंगे अभी अंदर चल के सेक्शंस के बारे में। तो पार्ट थ्री देन स्टार्ट कंप्यूटेशंस ऑफ पीरियड ऑफ लिमिटेशंस। 12 सेक्शन कहता है एक्सक्लूशन ऑफ टाइम इन लीगल प्रोसीडिंग। सेक्शन 13 कहता है एक्सक्लूशन ऑफ टाइम इन केस वेयर लीव टू श्योर अपील एज अपीयर इन द अप्लाइड फॉर। सेक्शन 14 कहता है एक्सक्लूशन ऑफ टाइम प्रोसीडिंग टू बोनाफाइड इन कोर्ट विदाउट जुरिडिक्शंस। बोनाफाइड के बारे में जो सेक्शन बताता है वो बताता है सेक्शन 14। देयर इज section 15 is say that exclusion of time in a certain other cases. Section 16 effect of death on before the actual accrual of the right of sue. Section 17 effect of fraud and of mistake. Section 18 tell about effect of acknowledgement in writing. Section 19 effect of payment of the action debt of the interest in legacy. Section 20 effect of acknowledgement of payment of the by another person. Section 21 effect of the submitting substituting adding a new plaintiff of a defendant. 22 section says continuing breaches of torts. Section 23 says suits of compensation for acts and not actionable without special damage. Section 24 is a computation of time mentions in the instrument. Part 4 start or and part 4 in the part 4 acquisition of ownership by the position. Section 24 says that acquisition of assessment of by the prescriptions. 26 sections say exclusion in the favor of reversioner of servient tenement. 27 says extinguishment of right to property. 27 और उसके आफ्टर दैट पार्ट ऑफ फिफ्थ, जो पार्ट फिफ्थ है वो टेल अबाउट मिसलेनियस सेक्शन 28 रिपील्ड, 29 सेविंग्स और 30 प्रोविजन फॉर सूट एसेट्रा फॉर द विच द प्रेस्क्राइब्ड पीरियड ऑफ शॉर्टन टाइम द पीरियड ऑफ इंडियन लिमिटेशन एक्ट 1908। सेक्शन 31 प्रोविजन आर टू बी बेरिड ऑफ पेंडिंग सूट्स और 32 रिपील्ड। तो शेड्यूल आती है शेड्यूल में। तो देन उसके बाद शेड्यूल आती है। तो टोटल सेक्शन जो है देयर इज अ टोटल सेक्शन 32 सेक्शंस in the limitation act, and then we have to discuss. We will have to discuss. So there is 32 sections, 32 section in limitation act, 32 section limitation act, and then start schedule. Okay, so then we start that section 1. What will say about section 1? And the limitation act 1963, act number 36 of 1963. So 5th October it started, it started, and it became start 5th October 1963. तो ये क्या होता है कि ये शुरू होता है 5 अक्टूबर 1963 को, 5 अक्टूबर 1963 को परिसीमा अधिनियम, जिसको 1963 का अधिनियम संख्या 36 कहते हैं। तो ये उस डेट को जो शुरू होता है, ठीक है। और देन an act to consolidate it and amend the law of the limitation suits and other proceeding for the purpose of the connected therewith. An act of consolidate, and it start with the consolidated and the amend the law of limitation of suits and other proceeding. Then it is start other, be it enacted by the Parliament of the 14th year of the Republic of India. Then it started in the 90. Our India we became free of 1947, 1947, and this is the 12th, 14th years of the Republic of India. And Republic India is a became start 1950, 1950 in the date of the 26th January 26 January 1950. So this act is saying that be it enacted by the parliament in the 14, तो भारत गणराज्य के 14वें वर्ष में संसद द्वारा यह अधिनियमित किया गया। तो be it enacted by parliament in the 14 year the Republic of India as follows. Then starts part 1 preliminary. तो section 1 the what say, section 1 short title extend and commencement. This act may be called the limitation act, this act called limitation act. Okay, limitation act, it extends to the whole India except the state of Jammu Kashmir. It say that section 1 का 1 subclause 1 2, section 1 का subclause 2 say that it extend to the whole India except the state of Jammu Kashmir. But in the 31st October on 1929, 2019, it start all over India. 31st October it start 31st October because Jammu Kashmir is the part of the India. So it is it governed, it extend to all over India, whole of India. It extend whole of India with the date of 31 October 2019. Then sections 1 subclause 3, it shall come into force in such date as the central government by the notification in the official gazette appoint. And then it will start when the central government is the central governments may be notification in the official gazette appoint. It told about the short title extend and commencement. Section 1 of Limitation Act 1963. Second, section 2 definitions. Definition in this act unless the context otherwise requires. It means there is only definitions is follows is given in the section 2, unless context otherwise. Then start section A. Applicants include applicants who is applicant include their a petitioner. Section 1, section 2 का 1, section 2 subclause A subclause 1, petitioner any person from the through whom applicant drive his right to apply is also called applicant. Any person who state is represented by the applicant as executor, administrator or other representative also applicant. Sections 2b, application include a petition. Section C, bill of exchange. Bill of exchange is called the bill of exchange is included in the petitioner applicant. So then bill of exchange include hundi and check. Bill of exchange include hundi and check is also include there. Bill of exchange include hundi and checks. Next, One section 2D bond include any instrument include bond include any bond means include any. I'm doing this big screen. Bond include any instrument where a person obliges himself a pay of money to another and condition that the obligation shall be void of specified act in the perform it or is not performed as the case may. Is a bond. What will be bond include may instrument where person obliges himself to pay money to another condition that obligations a specified act performed is not performed as the case may. Section 2E defendant. What who were defendant who will be defendant include any person from through whom defendant derives his liability to sued is called defendant. Second, second, any person whose estate is represented by the present defendant and executor, administrator, or other representative is called defendant. Estimate. Then defendant definition is there. We can see in the Hindi. There's no need in Hindi, but we can see in the Hindi. तो आवेदक कौन कौन हो सकता है, तो आवेदक के बारे में डेफिनेशन है इसमें। आवेदक कौन कौन हो सकता है, तो आवेदक की डेफिनेशन इज देयर। तो आवेदक के अंतर्गत कौन कौन आता है, अर्जीदार वह व्यक्ति जिसके माध्यम से आवेदन करने का अपना अधिकार व्युत्पन्न किया है वो आवेदक है। आवेदन के अंतर्गत अर्जी आती है, विनिमय पत्र के अंतर्गत हुंडी और चेक आते हैं। विनिमय पत्र इज हियर। ओके, लेट्स स्टार्ट अगेन। Easement includes a right not arising from the contract. Easement include a right not arising from the contract by which one person is entitled to remove an appropriate or his own profit any part of the soil belonging to another anything growing in attached or subsisting upon the land of another. Foreign countries means section 2G means any country other than India. Section 2G good faith means 2H. Section 2H is called 2H, 2H, 2G, 2I, 2J, not 2I. The second part 2I. Okay. So nothing shall be deemed to done in good faith which is not done with the due care, and attention. Plaintiff include any person from the through whom plaintiff derives his right to sue. Any person who estate is represented by the plaintiff as executor, administrator, or the representative is called also the plaintiff. The second 2J period of the limitation means the period of limitations prescribed any suits, appeal or application by the schedules and prescribed period means the period of limitations computed in the accordance with the provision of this act. Next, we have to go in there is a in the section in the last of page 1st January 1964 wide notifications number SO 318 dated 29 October 1963. See Gazette India Part 2 Section 3 second amendment in the West Bengal by the W West Bengal Act 18 of 1977. 1st September 1984 wide notification number SO 6470 647C in respect of the state of Sikkim and dated 24 August 1984. There is no need. Promissory note, what will be called provisionary note? Promissory note. So then start promissory note. What will be there? Means any instrument whereby the maker engage absolutely to pay a specified sum of money to another time they are limited or demand or at sight is a promissory note. Suit does not include an appeal or application. So there is a suit. What will be suit? But in the suit there's not include an appeal and application. It's all applications without application without uh, without appeal is called suit. There's a in the limitation act, in the limitation there's a no appeal, there's a no application is called suit. Tort means civil wrong. What is the means of tort? Tort means civil wrong. I'm changing this color. Tort means tort means a civil wrong which is not exclusively the breach of contract, the breach of contract trust, the breach of contract, the breach of trust. Trustee who's told to an 2M. I'm saying the 2M, 2K, 2K promissory note, PN, 2L suit, and and okay, just a minute, hold on. I'm changing this section. Okay, Anjali, let's trustee section. I'm changing this colors and okay. 2K 2K means promissory note, promissory promissory note. 2K means an instrument where the maker engages absolutely to pay a specific sum, to pay specific, to pay specific, yeah, specified sum of money. Sum of money is called promissory note. Promissory promissory note. Okay, then start. Tort means civil wrong where is not, civil wrong means where is not exclusively the breach of contract which is the trust. Next, trustee does not include a beni benim benamidar. A benamidar include does not include a benamidar. The trustee is not included in a benamidar. Then if we say benamidar is a trustee, then we can say that benamidar not a trustee. A mortgage remaining in the position of after remaining of position of after the mortgage has been satisfied a person or wrongful positions without title. It may be the without title is a trustee, and the mortgage has been satisfied a person. It means benamidar is not trustee. Okay, 2N. Let's start second part. Limitation of suits, appeals, and applications. Third section of 3 of Limitation Act, Section 3. Limitation Act, Section 3. 3. Then we start Limitation Act, Section 3. Bar of bar of limitation. Bar of limitation. Bar of limitation subject to provision contained in section 4 to 4. 4 to 4. Section 4 to 4 inclusive every suit institute appeal preferred and application made after the prescribed period shall be dismissed although limitation has not been set up as defense. As set up as a defense means there is a no suit institute appeal preferred and application made after the prescribed period shall be dismissed dismissed although limitation has not been a set of the defense. Okay, for the purpose of this act, a suit is an institute. A suit is an institute. A suit is an institute. Then a suit is an institute. An ordinary case when the plaintiff is presented to the proper officer. Section 2 का A का Section 3 का 2 and subclause A subclause 1. An ordinary case when the plaintiff is presented to the proper officer. Second, in the case of pauper, when his application for the leave sue as a pauper is made, and in the case of claim against company which is being bound up by the court when the claimant first sent in his claim in the official liquidator. Here, what's the bar of limitation is our saying in the section 3. Any claim way of the set off or counter claim. Set off and or a counter claim shall be treated as a separate suit. Separate suit will be treated as counter claim and set off. Any claim by the way and shall be deemed to be an been instituted in the case of set-off and the same date as the suit in the which the set-off is pleaded. Second, in the case of counterclaim, on the date of which the counterclaim is made in court. Next, see section 2 to section 3 to C. An application by the notice. Section 3 to C. 3 to C. Okay, 3 to C notice. Then start code is made and when the application is presented in the proper officer of that code. Okay, section 4 start expiry of prescribed period. Expiry of prescribed period. Expiry of prescribed period when code is closed. Then what will be limitation period? Expiry of a prescribed period when the code is closed, where the prescribed period of any suit, appeal, and application expire. Where the prescribed period for any suit. Prescribed period means there is a time given in the period for the suit in the court, and the time has gone for any suit, appeal, or application expire on the day when the code is closed. When the code is closed, the suit, appeal, or application may be instituted, preferred, or made on the day when the code is reopened. Means there's if their code is closed, then the period start will start after the code when the code reopen. Explanations: a court shall be deemed to be closed one day within the meaning of the session this section if during any part of its normal working hours it remains closed on the day. Working hours it remains closed on the day. A working hour remains means the when the court do work in a day, the call working hours closed on the day. Okay. Section 5 extension of prescribed period. Section 5 extension of prescribed period in the certain cases. Any appeal, any application, any appeal and any application other than application under any provisions of order of 21 Code of Civil Procedure 9085 of 908 may be admitted after the prescribed period of the applicant for the applicant satisfy the code of that he had sufficient cause for and preparing the appeal of making application within such period. Means any appeal or any application other than application under any of the provision order 21 of the code of civil procedure and may be admitted after prescribed period if the appeal or applicant satisfy if the appellant or appellant and applicant satisfy the code that he had sufficient cause for not preferring the appeal or making application with such period. Explanation: what say that the fact that appellant the fact that appellant or the applicant was missed by any order, practice, or judgment of the High Court in ascertaining or computing the prescribed period may be sufficient cause within the meaning of this section. Legal disabilities say about section 6. Section 6 legal disabilities where a person entitled institute a suit or make a application for the execution of degree is at the time from which the prescribed period is to be reckoned or minor or insane and or an idiot, he may institute the suit or make the application within the same period after the idiot after the disabilities has ceased. Disabilities has ceased as would otherwise have been allowed from the time specified therefore in the third column of the schedule. In the third column of the schedule, seconds where such person is at the time from the prescribed period is to be reckoned affected by affected by to such disabilities or where before his disabilities is seized he is affected by the another disabilities, he may institute the suit of or make the application within the same period after both disabilities have ceased as would otherwise have been allowed from the time so specified. So it say such person is the time for the which the prescribed period and record affected by the to to such a disability or where before the disabilities he seized he affected another disabilities. So then legal disabilities is say section 8 where the disabilities continue of the death of the person his legal representation may institute the suit of the make and the application within the same period death after the death as would otherwise have been allowed from time so specified as called the is saying about the is saying about the person is saying about the person who's a who has death where the legal representation where the legal representation representative referred the subsection 3 is at the date of the death of the person who is the represent affected by any such disability the rules contained in subsection 1 and 2 shall apply. It limitation act is also applied in the person where a person under disabilities dies after the disabilities cases but within the period allowed to him under this section his legal representative may institute the suit or make the application within the same period after the death as would otherwise have been available to the person had he not died. It is saying about the applicability of the legal disabilities of section 6. Okay, explanation for the purpose of this session. Minor include in a child in the bomb. Okay, the minor include a child in the bomb means this is the very important. It come in the examinations. Who's a minor? Minor means in the limitation act. Minor means a child in the bomb means a child is not born in the women's women's bomb called child include called minor. Next, disabilities of one of the several persons. We are seeing disabilities on where where a several where the several person jointly entitled institute a suit or make an application for the exclusion of a degree is under any such disability under and discharge can be given without in concurrence of the such person. Time will run against them all, but where no such discharge can be given, time will not run as against any one of them until one of them become capable of the giving such a discharge without the concurrence of the others or until the disability has ceased. Explanations. What disability is one of several persons? Explanation 1. This section applies to a discharge from every kind of liability, including liability is in respect of any immovable property. Immovable property. Second explanation. Second, for the purpose of this section, the manager of Hindu individual family governed by the Metakshara law Hindu undivided family governed by the Metakshara law shall be deemed to be capable giving a discharge without the concurrence of the other members of the family only if he is management by the joint family property. Special exceptions, exceptions, section 8. Section 8 is saying nothing is in section 6 or 7 applies. 6 and 7 applies to suit to enforce the right pre preemptions or shall be deemed extend for more than 3 years from the cessations of the cessation of the disabilities or death of person affected by thereby. The period of limitation for any suit of application. Section 9 continuous running of time. Section 9 is a call say about the continuous running of time where once time has begun to run, no subsequent disabilities or inability to institute a suit make an application stop it. It means if the suit is start, then it will be start continue.